Chapter 29 After the Storm. The boops and booms had stopped, and the lights were back on. Myron and the others had to step over all sorts of objects as they made their way back up toward the classroom. The stairs were strewn with books, papers, cafeteria trays, musical instruments, an air pump, a giant stuffed walrus, and even a bust of Sigmund Freud. Between the 26th and 27th floors, the stairs were completely blocked off by Mr. Kidswatter's enormous desk. They all had fun climbing over it, including Mrs. Jewls. Once back in class, Myron dropped Miss Zarv's fingernail into the bucket, which, unfortunately, was empty. Sadly, the other 900,999 clippings were gone. Myron would have written 1,000,000 on the chalkboard anyway, but there was no chalkboard. The chalk was there, however. It was as if everything inside Wayside School had been shuffled like a deck of cards and dealt out randomly to every floor. Mrs. Jewls' chalkboard was eventually discovered in the library. Fingernails and toenails would continue to be found for years to come, sometimes in very strange places. The sun shined. The sky was as blue as Allison's eyes. Birds chirped as they flew about. There had been no birds during the dark days of doom. Lewis, the yard teacher, shoveled snow off the roof. Among other things, the cloud had dumped huge amounts of snow. The playground sparkled white. Lewis had to be careful. The snow was packed high above the guardrails and was very slippery. "Look out below!" he shouted as he tossed a shovelful of snow over the edge. Down below, the kids were playing a kind of reverse dodgeball. It was the boys against the girls. Every time Lewis shouted, "Look out below!" they did the opposite. Eric Ovens charged past Jenny and dived face first, sliding across the snow-covered ground. Lewis's clump smacked him right on the head. "1 point!" he exclaimed. Recess was 3 hours today. The kids had been sent out to play while the teachers were stuck with cleaning up the mess made by the storm. Just as Mrs. Jewls had predicted, now that the cloud of doom was gone, the world had become a happier place. The only thing missing was a rainbow. "Look out below!" Lewis called from the other side of the school. They raced around the building. Leslie dived toward the falling clump. "1 point!" she declared. "No way, Miss Piggytails," said Terence. "It missed you." "Did not," Leslie insisted. "See, look at all the snow in my hair." "That's ground snow," argued Terence. Dana came to Leslie's defense. "Some of it came from the ground," she agreed, "but 4 flakes came from the air. I saw them." "How can you see 4 snowflakes?" asked Paul. "Superglasses," said Dana, pointing to her spectacles. She picked 4 snowflakes out of Leslie's hair. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like I told you. "That proves it," declared Bebe. 1 point. Paul scowled. He remained skeptical of her spectacles. Up on the roof, Lewis spotted something sticking out of the snow. It was purple and green with some yellow dots. He tried to pull it free, but it was stuck. He pulled hard. It still wouldn't budge. He gave it one hard yank. The umbrella jerked free, but Lewis's feet slipped out from under him. He fell on his bottom and slid backward across the roof. "Look out below!" he shouted as he went over the edge. The children ran to the call. They were quite surprised when they looked up and saw the yard teacher coming toward them. Lewis looked down. He didn't want to hurt the children. He considered trying a Mary Poppins, but he was holding the wrong end of the umbrella, and there wasn't enough time to change his grip and try to open it. His best chance was to grab the top of the flagpole. Wayside School had an extra tall flagpole so it wouldn't look puny next to the building. Louis reached out for it, but missed. The next thing he knew, he was spinning wildly in circles. The curved handle of the umbrella had hooked the pole. Louis whirled dizzily around it as he slowly moved down the pole. By the time he reached the ground, he must have circled the flagpole more than 1,000 times. Sherry ran to him. To Louis, it looked like there were 6 Sherrys, all spinning like tops. "Thanks, Louis, you're the best," said Sherry, taking her umbrella. "But really, there was no big rush. You could have just used the stairs."